Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode. Today we have Joe Martinez with World Financial Group.
Yeah. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for having me, and thank you for watching also. Yeah. Excited to be here. Kind of surreal. I've always been on the other side, and now finally I get to sit on this red couch.
Yeah, the famous red couch.
Yes, well, thank you so much for coming. So you're in the financial business, right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so what made you go into the financial business rather than being, rather than working for a company?
Yeah, you know what? Good question, Vicky. It was kind of scary at the beginning. I had no experience in financial services. I was really just, working 9-to-5 jobs all my young life, and I just quickly realized that, earning minimum wage and waiting 365 days for a 10-cent raise wasn't going to get me to, live the lifestyle I wanted to have. So I thought, hey, what else can I do? And I got introduced to my firm, which I've been here for about 4 years now, exciting years, and it's just nonstop to the top now.
So how did that feel, going from a W-2 employee to a 1099?
Yeah, so basically the whole transition was more, I learned that because I had a business coach, that I needed to work on my mindset. I needed to go from an employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset, because there was not going to be anybody, on my back. Hey, where you at? How come how come you're not here? Where are your numbers at?
Yeah.
It was all on me now.
Right.
So
Your own boss.
yeah, and I wasn't used to that, right? We all want to have a business life, an entrepreneur life, because you want to control your schedule.
Yes.
And you want to control your income, because I learned that I could have that opportunity as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So now I'm in total control of my time. Now I'm trying to control my income,
Yeah.
and it was more of a
mindset change, correct?
shift. Yeah, absolutely.
Keeping that self-motivation going on a daily basis versus just going in and having work there. Just, sit down on my desk, do my work, do my job.
Yeah.
And now having to be
And it's crazy
self-motivated.
too, because straight up, I used to always at the job, I used to just work enough for me not to get fired, because I knew that they were paying me enough just for me not to quit. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So what key points can you give somebody who is self-employed, and has switched from a company to being self-employed? What key points can you give?
Good question. So basically, I would say that you always need to develop yourself. Self-development is key. If you don't self-develop yourself, then your business is going to suffer.
Yeah.
So if you're not growing, you start dying, right?
Yeah.
So always work on your mindset. Always work on becoming a better leader. Work on your craft. How good can you get at doing what you do? So everything has to do, like, you guys are realtors, right? So you guys gotta know how to do a listing presentation, how to talk to clients, how to get new clients, how to do the whole process from A to Z. So you gotta put in at least a couple of hours a day to get good at it, right? And then go implement what you learned. Make sure that you're bringing value. That's why I admire you guys what you do, because here in Remax Champions downtown in West Covina, I see that there's a culture where you guys are actually bringing value, and I guess that's the reason why Red Couch exists, right? Because you want to bring value to the community.
Yes.
So because of those reasons, I believe that you guys are getting better at your craft. And if you don't do that as a business owner, as a self-employed, then your business is going to suffer.
Yeah, just so you all know, Joe was one of our higher or better critiques out there. You would always say, you know what, Tina Marie, maybe you guys should do this, maybe you should do that, and all the promoting that you would help us with, which I appreciate, but I also appreciated that you would always also tell us where you thought we needed help. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
So what are you doing to ensure that your business is growing? I mean, do you prospect as well, or phone calls like we do, or what is there a difference between how you grow your business and to how we realtors do our business?
No, you know what? It's actually funny you say that, because it's really similar. Really similar. I'm much the same way you guys, out there in the field, getting to meet new strangers, shaking hands. And you know what's funny? It all starts with a smile.
Yes.
When you're out there, I guess society has forgotten to smile,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you just gotta go out there and you have a
Get
beautiful
out there,
smile
friends,
too.
really.
All you guys.
Wait, why are you smiling? Are you flirty? You want my number? No, I just want to be nice.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. I just smiled to you guys, and now you guys are smiling,
Yeah.
right? So just go out there, shaking your hands, making a stranger a friend, and not necessarily to look at them as a dollar sign,
Yeah.
but look to them as like, how can I bring value to you?
Exactly.
So when I go
Yes.
out there with that mentality, I'm able to get into people's mind to see what if there's a need for them, and hopefully I could bring enough value for me to bring a solution to them.
Okay.
Like for example, in my company, what we do in financial services, Vicky, is we take care of 5 areas for families. Typically overlooked by the bigger major financial institutions, which is we help them get out of debt, help them protect their income in case they die prematurely, help them if they don't die prematurely. Guess what, Alex? They're gonna retire one day, so they got to make sure they're building wealth for the future. If they have kids, like Tina Marie, I know that you have kids,
I do.
so it's gonna make sense that when they grow up, they have enough funds to go to college, because 2 things are gonna happen: either they're gonna fill up applications for a job, or applications for colleges, right?
Better be college. You hear that?
College.
I know. So they go to college, and then what happens if there's an emergency? Is there something that's going to keep you afloat for that household to be able to pay for rent, food, all the overhead that a typical family is going to have?
Right.
So we take an assessment of a family, see where they're at in those 5 areas. By the way, it's just a quick review, and then based on that, if we find a need, that we showcase some of the solutions, because we are a broker dealer. So we have over 150 companies of insurance and investments that we could custom tailor to that family depending on where they're at.
Okay, so you do like 401ks, annuities, that kind of
401k
product,
is not that much myself.
or like life insurance or?
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, more like life insurance, annuities. We do that.
Okay.
We actually help people roll over money as well, from having something that's variable. Which after the crash of 2008,
Yeah.
people shouldn't have money in risking their future in
Yeah.
that sense. But we do have some more conservative ways to be able to put money away. We typically, we're going to encourage for them to put it somewhere where it's going to be protecting their principal. They're not going to have any losses, and they can participate with a decent rate of return. And then from there, depending on their risk tolerance and depending on their desired rate of return, then we could actually showcase something more aggressive.
Okay.
Yeah,
See, that's really good.
it's really good. Yeah.
But now, if you were to, when you prospect, you also kind of recruit in a way. So, how's your approach when you're talking to, let's say, a new agent or somebody a new person that wants to get into the business? Like, what advice or what key points do you tell that person to say, hey, look, this is what we do, this is how we do it, this is how you can become part of us or help us help families? So what advice do you give like a new person that's trying to come into your business or
Yeah.
even our business, something like that?
Yeah, great question, Alex. So that's the reason why I started building a relationship with Tina Marie, because I'm always out there trying to make connections, right?
Yeah.
It says that your network determines your net worth.
Mhm,
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
So, a couple of months ago, Tina Marie and you guys, we were strangers, but then I started farming the relationship with Tina Marie, and then, a couple of months later, here I am with you fine folk on Red Couch Talks. That's I'm more of a building relationship. So
Yeah.
what we do is, because there's a huge need for what we do, we are always aggressively expanding, and what we look for is hunger. Do
Okay.
you have hunger for success? Do you have an entrepreneur mentality, or just a whatever it takes mentality? Are you a type of person that makes excuses? Then you're not for us.
Yeah.
If you have a victim mentality, you're not going to make it anywhere, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
right?
not. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you guys are looking for
Wow,
the same
that's
thing.
kind of what we're looking
Yeah,
for
kinda,
here.
yeah, we
Yeah,
have the same
yeah,
thing, yeah.
absolutely.
So we're really similar, Alex. The difference is that you guys are helping families achieve their American dream by owning a home. And that's why I'm looking, and people like in my industry are looking to partner up with realtors like yourselves, because we want to complement everything you're doing for their clients to ensure that that household is protected. God forbid something happens and mom or dad doesn't make it home one day.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So my recommendation would be, if you guys are not working with anybody yet in that sense, there's so many other ways that you could bring more value to your clients if you partner with the right people. I know that you guys work with title reps and
Yes.
loan officers or stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have a team, right?
Yes.
So then this would be the third or fifth wheel on your vehicle to help that family protect their American dream overall. So the way that we're looking for basically for people, if you're hungry, you want bigger and better, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then let's talk. If it makes sense, we go from there, and if not, then hey, who do you know?
Yeah.
Does that make
Who
sense?
should I be talking to?
Which basically the same thing you guys are looking
Yeah.
for, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very similar to what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see a shift of people wanting to have your services within the next 5 to 10 years growing? Or
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the baby boomer, it's all about timing, right?
Right.
You guys are familiar with the baby boomers.
Yeah.
So as of a couple of years ago, this generation of baby boomers, they're retiring, so they're calling the great wealth transfer. You know, these people after, what was it, after World War II, they came back to the U.S., started having babies, and then
Yeah.
every industry, right? The baby food industry started growing. All of a sudden, there's 78 million baby boomers coming into the market. As they were growing older, you got the toys manufacturers, and then they grew up, the car manufacturers, and then the boom in real estate in the 80s.
Yeah.
Well, these people right now, they're retiring.
Yeah. That's
And the number one thing is they have all these pensions or all these savings in their jobs that we got to make sure we put them somewhere where because they're older, they're in their 65, 66, 67. Their number one fear is to live out their money.
That's
So
true.
all that transfer
Yeah,
of
very
wealth,
true.
it's so huge that over the next couple of years, there's a lot of business to be done in financial services, and because the way the market is in real estate, I know it goes up or down.
Yes.
You guys are the expert on that. That's why I'm partnering up with you guys to keep me informed on that stuff.
Yeah.
But here now, at least it's going to be able to complement everything at the same time. You're going to be able to have your household or real estate investments, and how about you insure your income, God forbid something happens.
Yes.
There's,
yeah.
just so you know, real quick, there is a couple of life insurance products. There's something term that's only for a period of time, but it's also something permanent. That at the same time, it's permanent life insurance, and there's a savings attached to it. So that over years, you start to accumulate this wealth, and then you could actually take deductions later down the road.
Okay.
By the way, it's tax free.
Wow, that's
Your
really
own
good.
little ATM for.
Yeah.
No, that's really good because now that as you're saying this, it brings me to something that's affect our family. My grandmother, for example, she's on a very limited income. And with Social Security now, I don't think we're going to be able to get it. So how is it that you could avoid becoming homeless? Because if it wasn't for my grandmother having her home paid off, she probably would be homeless or having to continue to work in other stores, just to make ends meet.
Yeah, because I've been doing this for 4 years, Tina Marie, Alex, and you know what I found out, Vicky? I'm gonna share you guys a quick story. So, I think it was about a couple of weeks ago. My office is right here in San Dimas, really close to your guys' office, and right on a Friday night, we left pretty late, and we went down the street to your local retail store for groceries, right? Without mentioning names. And
No names, no suing.
No name.
and I'm walking, and I'm with my significant other. We're walking in the door, and there's always a greeter, like, "Hi,
Yeah.
welcome to our store."
Yeah.
And as I'm walking in, I was kind of a little bit shocked because even though I was a little bit distracted at the beginning, when I saw this lady, it caught my attention. I told my better half, I said, "Hey, go ahead and I'll catch up with you." I go up to her and I said, "Hey, excuse me, I don't mean to bother you, but can I ask you a question?" She said, "Yeah, sure, honey, what's up?" And I said, "Hey, what is somebody like you working this late, about to be 9 o'clock p.m. on a Friday night?" And she said, "Well, honey, my husband passed away about 5 years ago. Whatever was left from his retirement, we had to use the majority to put him for final expenses. And then I'm using medicine. My kids have already grown up. They're taking care of their own kids, right? So there's not enough for them to be able to support me. So I have to continue going to work because I ran out of money. Social Security didn't count it. There was no pension in my job, and I didn't save any money."
Wow.
She said, "I tried, but things would always happen." Have you guys ever heard
Life
of
goes
life
on,
happens?
yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's happening every day.
That life happens is, hey, let's go on vacation. Hey, we need to fix the house. Hey, we need to do this. We need to send the kids to college. But the majority of the things happened because there was nobody by the way, her name's Maria. When she was about in her 30s, 20s, or even 40s, nobody sat down with Maria and her husband just to ask them about, hey, where are you at in your debt? How about income protection? Do you have proper life insurance? What about for your retirement? Certainly here they would have found a void, and they could have probably done something about it.
Yeah.
Now the reason why it hit home so much to me was because that lady looked like my mom.
Oh,
Same height,
Yeah.
same hair. She's wearing the employee vest,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm like, "Am I?" Right? And I was just like, so I went up to her, and of course it wasn't my mom, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But hey, that's somebody's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's somebody's aunt. That's somebody's older sister. That's somebody's sister. That's somebody's tia, godmother, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And what we do is just we want to get out there to sit in front of as many people as we can. Typically, people that are married, they're homeowners, they have kids, they value their future because you got responsibilities, right?
Right.
You as parents, you guys got to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row, right? So that thing is so important because I've seen stuff like that. Even some of my family members have gotten affected, and initially that's what got me into this industry because I said, why hasn't anybody educated us?
Right.
Yesterday, I just had a client sit down, and she told me, "Where were you 20 years ago?" And I'm
20
like,
years. Wow.
"Well, I was still in school 20 years ago, but hey, I'm here, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm here to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
This is where you're at. These are the potential solutions for you and your family. You decide if you want to do something about it, because either way, they're gonna either remember you because you left them debt, or you left them a will."
Yeah.
In this case,
True.
some people don't really move forward with me, right? Like you guys don't always close escrows, right?
Right.
But the way I see
We
it, you try.
Yeah.
The way I see it, Vicky, that family is either going to remember me because I helped them get in a better position, or they're going to remember me because Joe
Yeah.
came in,
Yeah.
talked to us, and we didn't do anything about it.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, right?
Right.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But yeah, that's.
Well, I
basically-
hope the ones that are watching, feel that this service is really valuable to them, because I think the lack of our consumers knowing the services that are out there is what get them into these positions, So hopefully, some
Absolutely.
get some people calling in.
If you guys ever if you guys ever want just knowledge about it, because you got to get educated first.
Yes,
Sit down with somebody you know.
absolutely.
Make sure they're licensed, right? Because there's a
Yeah.
lot of people out there doing shady stuff.
Yeah.
And sit down and really call an expert. Actually, call these guys too. With all your network, you guys should know a ton of people in there.
Yeah, we do.
So obviously, there's always going to be somebody willing to help out if you seek it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do
Get
your
educated.
research. Get
Yeah,
educated.
Education is key.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, everyone. Thank you so much. I feel that this information was very valuable for our consumers. So I just want to thank you very much for joining us here on the Red Couch.
Oh no, thank you for having me here. Hey, by the way, I just really want to let you guys know that I love what you guys stand for.
Oh, thank you.
I love the fact that you're doing this type of events because you're bringing value to the community. I'll let you know something. For all of you out there, I'm not in real estate business. I'm in the financial services. But if I was in the real estate business, I would definitely hang my license here because I know what they stand for, and I really resonate for what the vision they have for their future. So if you guys are out there trying to get into real estate, or you're already there and you're sick and tired of your office because you don't have any mentorship, hey, call these guys. I would do it.
Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for saying that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would do
Yeah,
it.
Thank
so
you.
much,
Yeah.
Joe. And if there's any agents out there looking for a new office, well, you heard it from Joe, so we would love to talk to you. Give us
Yeah.
a call or comment below, or any buyers or sellers out there, please give us a call. Alex, what's the number?
The number is 1-800-286-1036, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for our weekly drawings on the Red Couch.
Yep. Thank you very much. See you next week here at Remax Champions, downtown West Covina. Woo!